Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Lui Nishmat Sabi Akashol and Lava Sitzchok. The Shir is also sponsored by Lui Nishmat, my great uncle, Rabbi Yo Emmanuel Ben Shalom Hartman. Zara was nifter this past Thursday. So it's Thursday. So you should great uncle, my grandfather's brother. Okay, let's learn. The Gemara we're learning today Daf Mem, and we're going to be starting from the bottom of Daf Lamed Testimony base. The Gemara is going to bring three lines at the bottom: Tori Shein Atrufa. What's Tori Shein Atrufa? So we're talking about a type of fish that it wasn't cut, so you can recognize it. And Tzir Sheesh Badago. That's the Abshach Mishnah. You have the fish brand that has in it a fish. Someone says, what is tarish that's not considered to be cut? You can see the head, you can see the spine. What happens when you see the head and you see the spine? So Rashi says, because there's a difference between the head of a kosher fish and a tray fish. You can recognize basically the head. Comes the maybe is that one?
One is long, one is wide.
So one is long, one is a little long, one is short. Come the other Rishonim and say, well, the Torah never mentioned that. The Torah mentioned only scale and fins. But where do you get to head? So therefore they argue, some of the Rishonim argue in Rashi, the Rosh, the Ramban, the Rosh, they want to say no, that when you have the head, you can recognize the fish to know if the fish has fins and scales. Now the heads are different. So by having the head, you know which fish it is. So anyway, if you see the head, you see the spine. There's the tzir sheesh badogo. What's the tzir sheesh badogo? Now here, it's interesting enough that Rashi says what the tzir sheesh badogo is a kilbis. When you have fish, they're kosher fish that are pickled together, that grows a new fish that starts swimming there. It's called a kilbis. So the Ritva says, any other different views. Fish, it's a different views. You have a fish that grows in a fish brine. When do you have such a thing? So they say no. The pshat is, the other Rishonim say that when you have a fish, usually you have fish tar, they put in it a fish. The Torah would say this is the tar. This is this type of fish. Well, this type of fish is a tardic fish. So it says like this.
You're talking about the fish that they put in?
Yeah, the it's a kilbis fish. So these fish, according to Rashi, that were created in that brine, according to the Rishonim, they were put there. They're swimming in it. So why is it told me you said one, it's not two, of course. Like Kasha. It depends if it's open or closed. If it's open, so Rashi learns you need to have at least two. Because maybe one jump in there. So you have at least two. If it's not one is good enough. Taisa learns the opposite. Taisa says that if it's open, so then you need one is enough because that affects everyone. Right? So he says we could say that maybe there was two, but one left because it was open, and the closed would need to have two because that's the norm to have at least two. Okay. Idmar, you have to be able to recognize every fish, the head and the spine. They don't have to have both. Either or. They said, because it says in Chulin, as long as you have the scales and the fins, it's good enough. You don't need to have the head and the spine. We have to have the head and the spine. It says we're talking about the ones that have the head is not recognizable. According to Rashi, the head looks like a tummy. And according to other Rishonim, the head you can't recognize that that's fish. So they need the scales and the fins. But usually with the head is good enough. Says the Gemara, it's only if you want to use the brine. Then I could say, if I have either Rosh and Shindra, I'm going to rely on it for the brine. But the actual fish, I need to have both. They have to have both. Originally, I would believe Batsir. I used to use the brine. The whole machlik is regarding Tzira. At Shiro Yeshedra Nikor. But Tzira Nami Lo Believing. So I thought that Tzira and everybody agreed that one of them is good enough because it's more common. And we say no. So therefore we need to have in the Tzira and I'm machmir myself too. Papa Yechezkel Sheirosh V'Shedra Nikor Shkolachas V'Achas. Have to have a Rosh Shedra for each one Nikor. Meisivei, says the Gemara, Chaticho Yesh B'Im Simon B'Im Mikulo and B'Im Miktosom. You have a piece of fish, you have a simon, all of them, or some of them. Filu Ba'achas and Meshver, even 1 out of 100, Kulam Mutaros. It's all mutter. Why do you need all of them? He brought a whole barrel of fish, of pieces. One of them had a simon. The whole barrel was good enough.
How do you know it's the same fish?
Because we assume that whatever fish are together, they're the same fish. So we assume. So says no. Not like we understood that you assume it's a fish. We're talking here that the pieces add up together to one big fish. You take the pieces, you align them, and they all come from the same fish. Then you can rely on it.
So you have to prove that it's the same fish.
Oh, that's the same fish itself. The same one fish. What's chiddush? Say maybe has something to be that you added the same cut for 2 different fish. You don't say that. Is he
trying to say if it's not the same fish, you can't assume it's kosher?
Yes, if I have a similar one, maybe the other one is kosher. It's tummy. The fact that one is similar doesn't mean the other one is kosher. Unless it's coming from the same fish. They all come from the same fish. However, that boat, the tzachanto, which is a type of fish, the asi l'sichu came to the they held the sichus really means that it was a dam. Everyone went and he saw that the fish over there in that boat has scales, the shine, right? So so how you about that? Why? The fact that you find scales on the boat doesn't mean that the fish is kosher. This area, there's so much fish. Many of the fish have scales, but not doesn't mean the fish in the boat have the scales. Not like Shipur the Rav also came on the Shipur. These two with the shofar. He announces us. If also Shipur the Avoda Bachin of Shari. Avoda Bachin says mutter. Papi explained to me. That's only in the brine. I'm relying on the school. I'll be good for the actual fish line. Papa told me. They even not allow the goof. As you know, we already said the common Papa because the Papa said it's mutter. So I can't be matter in Avi Yosef, so I just leave it open. There's a discussion with Shani, what's exactly the boat? It was all the same fish. You assumed all the same fish. Was it one area of the boat that you found things everywhere where the fish are? Discussion with Shani exactly the details. So he brought a small boat that has a lot of barrels. If you need to kilbas bachas man, you find the kilbas that we mentioned in one of them. Ptuchos kula mutaris. If they're open, they're all a mutar. Why? Because you assume that all of them had the kilbas, just they left. Stumois, he mutaris kula mutaris. You find them sealed, closed, so the one that has the kilbas is mutar. The one that doesn't have the kilbas is also. Only minolachol. So he said, how do you know this? So he told him, Mitlosa Karoi Shamaliyah. He heard it from 3 Karoi. Who's that? What's Karoi? 3 Rabbanim that are called Karoi. You have Rav, Vishmuel, Rabbi Yechezkel. So Rabbi Margolius brings in the Sefer that each one of them it says that there's a possible was mentioned on him. Kori Alei, there's a possible mention. So that's why they call Karoi, because there's psukim that are mentioned about this Rabbanim. Kirvei Dogim Ve'ubar. Kirvei Dogim is the inside of the duck. The ubar means their eggs. I can't take it only for someone who's an expert because I don't know which fish it is. Take it only from an expert. It does have a egg. That a dak tome has the egg as well. Dak tome his mashis mean loshet sheretz is like having children like Pasha try womb. They grow, they come right out of the stomach. And only Daktar has eggs. So what do you say eggs by Daktar? Says more Samikan Ubar. You remove from here eggs. Don't remove it. Tarvayu matile bitzin. Both the tar fish and the tama fish, they both lay eggs. Depends where the eggs go. In other words, the eggs, do they hatch inside the fish or outside the fish? The tomatic fish, everything happens inside. The tar fish, it happens outside. It's actually have eggs. So why do you need a mucha? Just look at the simon. What's the simon? Netanyo. Kesimoni beitzim, kesimoni dogim. Beitzim is like fish, like the fish. Simoni dogim is like a diet. Simoni dogim stop it because what do you mean? The fish, it's scales and fins. What does that have to do with the eggs? Ela kesimoni beitzim, kesimoni ubori dogim. You have simoni by eggs. The simoni by the inside of the fish. Ve'elu simoni beitzim. What's the simon? Kol shekrideres. Ve'agolgelis. Rashi learns kuderes means that in one side it becomes smaller. It starts on one side and the other side becomes smaller. Agolgelis means that it's round in the sides. One side it's more round, like a ball, and the other side is more sharp. And all that, if you have the simon in Torah, both sides are sharp. Or based on share kadim, both sides are round. If the yolk is outside and the white is inside, but if they like our eggs, the yolk is inside and the white is out, then it's star. If they're all mixed together, zoy beats is the sheretz. That's the sheretz. So that's the simonim of the eggs. So why don't you just check the simonim? Talk about that they were crushed. I can't check the simon. Well, the story that we Doma Asai Mikanu Bar. According to the questions, what does it mean that you compare the simonim of the inside to the outside? I think I was going to mention it in a moment. Okay, so what it says, the story that we remove the inside of the fish. That's not part of this union. So what do you mean? It says that they both have simonim. So there is and means you say the same simon that I have by eggs, you have simonim also by the fish, and that's this both apply to a daktar and daktar. So you see that the daktar does have eggs.
So the basin is by a bird, right?
I think with the fish too. Rashi says, you're right. Rashi says, Simoni Beitim Shaloif Toyer. So you want to say the inside of the fish, where has the Simoni, like the eggs of a bird. What about the eggs of the fish? I don't know. I thought it would be the eggs of the fish as well.
You can have different fish have different eggs.
I hear. Okay. So anyway, so we're saying that you compare it to the eggs. So you see that but ubar means eggs. So Atanya, the right, it says Simoni Beitzim, Simoni Uvri Dogim. Talking about the eggs of the Simoni of eggs, similar to the Simoni of the eggs of the fish. Okay, so you see it clearly. Simoni Laftu to anyway you have to fix it. We fixed it before. We said at the beginning, Simone Dogim. We fix it to be Simone or Uvri Dogim. We're talking about the fish, of the eggs. I mean, I'm going back to what I said before. Oh, yeah, so here that's why I said it wrong. Uvri Dogim means the eggs of the fish. Beitzi means the eggs of the bird. Say the eggs of the bird and the eggs of the fish are comparable. That's how you explain the Bryce. So he says, but according to one it says the eggs of the fish, you don't have eggs by a fish stomach. So if you have eggs, you know it's dark. So what do I need? So what's the simon? So we don't say that we're talking about the simonim of the eggs of the fish. We're talking about the simoni kirvi dog in the inside of the fish. Says the Gemara, how do you compare kividogim to the eggs? Says the Gemara, sheyeh kad v'chad. Where you find kad v'chad, where you find that it's sharp or round. Shil pucho. What shilpucha? Shilpucha is the stomach. You know, the cave of the fish. That's where you have it to be round on one side and sharp on the other side. You know, I right. Shilpucha Rashi says is milei ruach, ruach, not the stomach, but where they have the actual. It's like the similar to the lung of the fish, where the ear is. The bladder? Interesting. Okay. Okay. Says the Gemara, so that so we said if you have a mumchi, he's going to tell you if the fish is tar or tar. Remember, there's no mumchi. He says, I'm the one who salted it, and I saw that they're tar, I trust it. Until he says the fish themselves. Right? In other words, he has to say these are the fish, these are the this is the outside of the fish, this is the inside of the fish, and this etzek is the outside. Because if he says only the minucha, maybe he doesn't know what's a fish tar. Or if he told his shamish, if he says I salted him, I rely on him, because if he says his tar, he knows what he's talking about. The Gemara says we said the chiltis can be a problem because you don't know how it's cut. But if it's all chiltis, it's not cut, it's okay. She told me the karti. What karti means that comes with the little pieces that come with that vegetable. Maybe it came from somewhere else. These pieces. It's part of this chiltis. It just fell out from the chiltis. What's the problem with olives? It's very soft. Maybe you put it in wine. The reason why they're so soft is because of the oil. You just touch it and the pit falls off. That tells you it's for sure has wine in it. So the Mishnah ended and it says that if you have the locust, depends if it's in front of the store, it's also. Why? Because you choshesh, maybe put wine into it, make it look nicer. If it was in the storage, so you're not choshesh. These different types of vegetables. The din is so they come from the storage, which is a place where they store where they pickle them. The boat, mutar. And in kari bekatluza, which means in the market. He always sprinkles wine in it to make it look better. When you have what's called yain tapuchim, which really means apple juice, comes to the storage places, mutar. And karbik is also they mix it into regular wine. Once Rabbi had a stomachache. Can I use the apple juice of a guy? Once my father, Rabbi Yesi, had a stomachache. They gave him the apple juice of a guy. 70-year-old, and he healed. He didn't tell me, he should tell me earlier. They found the guy, he had 300 barrels of apple juice of 70 years. Meaning what? That the main Rav Yesi was revealed to us that he could drink apple juice of a guy. I wasn't sure if he could. And I found out that you can. What was Moshe the Shomer? He gives the Shomer, gives the.
It might have to mean if it was 300. He didn't drink all 300.
No. Yeah. They found, interesting. The whole story needs more explanation. The Chelet Truma Zok the Gemara. The Mishnah ain't the Chelet Truma. Why the Chelet Truma? Well, Sheish v'Chelet Koyin Achashud Limkot Truma L'Shem Chulin. If you have a Koyin who sells Truma, it says it's Chulin. Why? Because the Truma is always sold for cheap. So he says, no, it's Chulin. We're Choshin him. So in front of Avoda, so abominate, so when after when I stole a mutter. If it's in front of him, you choshesh, maybe he's lying. But if it's coming from the storage, is mutter. If Susim is, he's scared. So he says, Rabbanon going to hear that I'm selling it and making tricks, they're going to take my whole storage. So the one in front of me, this I'll say, this I'm able to finagle. But to take my whole storage and say that's chulin, that doesn't take the risk. And therefore, that's the same thing but true. If it's coming from the Eitzer, it's in front of him. With that, we conclude the second parak of Masechet Avoda Zara. Hadolach ein ma'amidim, Hadolach ein ma'amidim, Be'ezer Hashem. We'll start from here, Be'ezer Hashem, tomorrow night.